Welcome back on the AM show. And of course, it's our latest public lecture. Joy News in collaboration with an amalgam of groupings or an amalgam of professionals. We're bringing you that latest public lecture, and the theme is Looking Beyond the Fourth Republic Towards Nation Building, the Case for Citizens, a Citizen's Mindset Revolution. And joining the conversation, we have Dr. Kwame Sarpong Essiedu, joining us to elaborate on what we can expect. It's just a week away from now. Doc, good morning. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
It's been a while. I hope you've kept well.
Well, I try to stay out of trouble.
Well, I see some of your posts on social media. I don't know about staying out of trouble, but that's just on the lighter side. Let's talk about this latest public lecture. I am curious, what went into selecting this specific area to go into this topic? Can you walk us through?
Well, thanks, and good morning to everybody. There's one thing we all have to know. Throughout history, no country has been built by a disunited people. You can read all through history, from the time of Babylon through the Bible right till today. The first thing you need to get right is to unite the people if you want to develop. But in the past 30 years, ever since we got into this fourth Republican democracy, we have increasingly become partisan, and we put parties first and everything else second. We don't even put nations second, everything else second. So what's then happening is that at every point in time over the 8-year cycle of any government we are running our country with just about 25% of our intellectual capacity. And I'll explain. If you look at the two political parties who've gotten the opportunity to run this country, and you look at all data from our elections, they all hold between 42 and 44% of the electorate captive. Whatever you do, though, whether they win or lose, they'll get about 44 to 46%. It's the remaining 10 to 12% in the middle who break to decide who runs this country. But when people get into power, what do? They then choose leadership from the narrow cohort of people that are close to the political party. So they say they are sharing the spoils of winning. So what happens is, if you look at that, even the 44% who are close or affiliated to the political party by way of voting, only about 25% are actually strictly partisan or card-holding members for that matter, and can be picked, which means at any point in time, in most institutions we are running in this country, 75% of our intellectual capacity and technical know-how and expertise is marginalized. What it then means is that when you take very professional people, academics, and all that, who do not want to be tainted by the partisan, quote unquote, alignment, they don't get involved in the management of this country. And this, from us, is a serious flaw with the sort of democracy we run, and would require a serious mindset revolution for all of us if we want to have systems such as the health system run, because you cannot run a health system with 25% of your health professional know-how, be it doctors, be it pharmacists, be it nurses, at management level. It just doesn't work. You cannot have a system, for example, where the Minister of Health or the Director General of the Ghana Health Service is at the whim and caprice of the president and can be fired at any time. It doesn't allow for short, medium, or long-term thinking.
Right.
You look at the country as well, and we do not even have a national development plan which has the buy-in of two major political parties. And unfortunately, the citizens are the ones who are fighting themselves and shouting themselves horses. That's why you see on social media, and all other platforms, to justify this very thing that is a limit to the development of this country. And these are the things that have gone into Akosia having to have the conversation about the mindset revolution we need to shift us from a partisan thinking point of view to a nationalistic thinking point of view, to shift even our behaviors from driving, from hospitals. I can go on and on and on. So we need a change of mindset if we also need to get the right leaders to lead this country. Because at the end of the day, the leaders are picked from within the citizens. And if the citizens have a partisan mindset, then we are going to have partisan leaders.
I see. That was quite an elaboration on what we can expect, at least from the thinking standpoint of what went into this. But then walk us through those who are going to dilate on this all-important issue and basically what they are bringing to the table on this matter up for discussion.
Well, can I say more or less? I mean, Akosua is a lawyer. She is a writer. She's a coach and has held so many board positions. So she's been involved a lot globally and in the United Kingdom where she's in transformational leadership and has seen how disunity doesn't play or augur well for any society, whether it's a private or public company, to develop. And she's the author of a book on mindset change. So that's Akosua Bame.
Right.
David, I don't even know where to start when it comes to
So for Chidoti.
Yes, David has very strong views about nation building, about the disjointedness in our society, about some of the behaviors that we show that are anemic to the development of this country, and is known to be active, especially on Twitter, always calling us out, not just Ghana, but on the African subcontinent, and is a strong believer in what the African subcontinent can do if it wants to develop. And one of the things he always harps on is unity. And I wouldn't want to say anything about myself. So, I mean, I'll
but tell us a bit about yourself. I mean, we also just give us a sneak peek about you and what we can expect.
How are you?
I thank you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I called you.
Let me put it this way.
I think we're getting some interference. So, Kwame Sapong-Asiedu, I'm coming back to you on this point. Just tell us a bit about yourself and what we can expect.
Okay. Benjamin, I'm a pharmacist. I have various degrees in drug analysis, quality control, and I have what people tend to call a PhD or whatever they want to call it in biomedical science. And I have worked in the area of pharmaceutical corporate governance. I work in the civil society space. I'm a strong believer in African unity and someone who thinks things should be said as it is. I have always been somebody who thinks that education is immaterial unless whatever area you specialize in can be made to relate to the general public in very simple, unambiguous, and common sense terms. So I am not one to ride on the bandwagon of educational qualifications to make my point. So I tend to call myself a village drunkard or common sense radical. So that is just me.
Well, interesting definition. So get ready, people. Is that public lecture coming through on the 6th of June, 2024? It's at 6:30 p.m. at the British Council. Is it only physical? Is it hybrid, physical, virtual? Can you just clarify?
Well, yes, there would be a virtual, so people can monitor it on social media, can monitor it on Zoom. But the good thing is this time, we all have managed to find ourselves in the place called Ghana. So Akosua would be here, David would be here, and yes, I am here currently. I think Akosua has also just arrived. So yes, for us, on this occasion, we would all be present at the British Council.
All right, so it's going to be a hybrid event. It's on the topic, looking beyond the Fourth Republic towards nation building, the case for a citizen's mindset revolution. We need to reset our thinking. David Ofosu-Dorte is going to be there. Kwame Sapong-Asiedu, Akosi Abame is the main speaker, and it's going to be chaired by our very own Evans Mensah. All of that to look forward to on the 6th day of June, 2024. Well, Doc, thank you so much for joining the conversation, and we wish you the very best ahead of time.
Thank you for having me.
And that is Kwame Sapong-Asiedu, who joined the conversation. You don't want to miss that public lecture coming through on the 6th of June, whether virtually or physically. Join and let's talk about Ghana and reshaping our mindset. Now, do stay with us. We'll be right back on the AM show with more.